we stopped going to the outside market. And I said, well, do you ever ask yourself a question? Who already has access to what's called hard asset investors? And they said, well, no. I said, well, they're the newsletters that people are paying money to get information. They are the seminars that are having people who are experts, economists, financial advisors. They are the tape and the book publishers selling direct because they had a direct relationship. So I targeted all of those people. I went to them, and I either structured ethical joint ventures where we could either give them a share where legal. If it wasn't legal, I structured deals where we bought leads for them at a certain pre-agreed upon amount because we had analyzed it and knew that a lead was worth a certain amount. Now, in your online business, I guess you could call pay-per-click, but that's a little more dangerous because it can be pretty promiscuous. But we were able to grow 160 or 70,000 buyers this way. And we only paid, the only thing we ever paid for was maybe the hard cost of printing mailings. We got everybody to endorse us. We became the recommended provider. When somebody subscribed to a newsletter, they would send out our information, education. They would give people the chance to confer with us and see how gold matched against their long-term investment strategy. We provided them with interviews. They ran quarterly in their magazine. We would do special issues on hard assets that we would write for them, so it was no risk. When I wanted to get into the training business, I didn't go in the outside market and run ads. Those are expensive and very, very low yielding. I went to Tony Robbins. I went to Nightingale Conant. I went to Phillips Publishing, Agora Publishing. We're the biggest financial publishers and had all these investors, many of who were entrepreneurs. And I got them to tell the world how great Jay Abraham was at business building, and we generated $100 million worth of seminar attendees for a total of about $300,000 worth of hard cost that was spent as we went, and variable compensation. Does that make sense? So the key you've got to ask yourself, and then I'm going to get people up here, who already has the market you're trying to reach? And it can be somebody related. It can also be somebody competitive. Why do I say that? Well, I got my start. I ran Entrepreneur Magazine years and years ago before I met you. And we did this fascinating research, and we found, and I bet you guys who don't yet have your business up and running will validate this. We found that the average person didn't buy just one course or book or report or tape set on money making or business opportunities. How many people here can confirm that? So like one time I made $1 million in 2 months, swear to God, going to a person when I was doing big training programs on being a marketing consultant, which I did back in the 80s. I went to another guy that was doing training programs on being a real estate tax reduction consultant, and I got him to give me the list of everybody on his list who had inquired and not bought. And he thought I was crazy. And I wrote him all a letter from him saying, we were flattered when you contacted us. We were disappointed you didn't go forward, but we assumed either our opportunity wasn't right, the timing wasn't right, you didn't have the money. But if you're still eager to be an entrepreneur and have a business of your own and an unlimited education and a professional that had the prestige of a doctor or lawyer without going to school for 8 years, there's somebody who can teach you how to do it in 5 days, and he's a great friend of ours. And in many respects, he's got a better opportunity because every business professional out there is a prospect, and he's willing to teach you, and if it doesn't make sense, not even keep your money, and you ought to at least talk to him. And we made $1 million in that, and I've given you about 12 cool little strategic secrets in one 3-minute little demonstration, which I don't have time to, but I just want to make a point to you.
So he went to the people who didn't buy. So in a sense, it was a list that they'd already gone through, and took an asset that they didn't think was very valuable, and he wrote a letter to them and split the profits with them. Is that right?
I split the profits with them. And there's different splits you can do depending on the back end. If you're selling a modest price product, like Ethan was here the other day,
right.
He sells a $39 introductory product, and I think he gives 100% of that, or he gives more than 100% away, because his real goal is to bring quality people in the door so he can sell a small number of them a $2,000 or $4,000 or $5,000 program. But that all comes back to the fact if you have no strategy, then you can't know what you can afford to do. You got to have a strategy.
Jay, just tell them about their competitors. What would they do with a competitor?
Oh, God.
Someone who is competing directly with you, and you are a direct competitor to them. How could they make money from that?
Oh, God. You can make money 3 different ways. You got to look at 3 elements of competition. You know, the level, meaning the depth, the duration, meaning how long somebody keeps buying, and the non-converts. So you got 3 areas. You got the people that contacted them and didn't buy. You got the people that bought one time or one level, like a book or a set of supplements. You got the ongoing ones that are buying over and over again. So the first thing you do is show them the following. There's a psychology of this, and it's called reclamation value. You show them that...
Well, do it as if you're going to... Let's go talk to one right now.
Okay, cool. Let's say that... I'll give you 3 different examples of the same thing, because you got a couple people here selling arthritis-type things. Let's say that you had a book on arthritis.
I do.
Okay? All right. So I contact you, just say, Bob, I'm very impressed with your book on arthritis.
You are.
It's very impressive. And I imagine a lot of people who bought that.
They have. 100,000 people bought my book on arthritis.
Fix this first. And I bet that they've gotten a lot of benefit out of it. You probably got a lot of white mail.
It's the best book on arthritis there ever was.
Well, you know, if I'm right, you probably spent a goodly portion of the last 2, 3, 5 years of your life writing it.
I've spent 25 years of my life writing it.
And researching. You probably spent and are spending a lot of time promoting it, marketing it, right?
Absolutely, every day of my life. It's my purpose in life.
Yeah, you know, there's a pretty powerful way that I don't think you've thought about that you could get back and reclaim every dime you've ever spent and every dime you ever spend and actually have a chance of making more money from what you're not doing than you are from what you're doing right now.
I don't quite understand what you just said there.
Okay, let me
I would make
explain.
money from things I'm not doing. I don't get it.
And things you've already done.
And things
Bob.
I've already done. Oh, okay.
Okay, you got a sunk cost, Bob, in terms of time, effort, expense.
Absolutely.
And you sell them a book,
Okay.
and then you're done.
Well,
And
I
you've taken
want to
them-
sell them books, as many as I can.
Okay, but after they've bought that book, God bless you, you've done a great, noble job of getting them further
Yes.
towards relief or understanding of
Yes.
how to manage their problem. But if you could help take them further, if you could help do more for them, if you could make an even bigger and better and richer difference in their life, if you could give them more mobility, less pain, more happiness, more fulfillment, more active
I like it.
life, and it didn't take a minute of your time, it didn't cost you a cent, but it would put thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars a month in your pocket, and I did it all for you, would you be interested in trying it?
It sounds good to me.
I mean, I'm just kidding. I mean, and I haven't done this for a long
My
time.
arthritis pain is going away as we speak.
So here's the concept, Bob.
Yeah.
100% of the people with arthritis have.
A little louder. Just
Is this working better?
look, you turn up
100% of the people with arthritis have a problem we know that is going to last either until someone comes up with a cure
Correct?
or they die. I'm not trying to be
Yep.
cynical, but till they die, it's a clinical fact. There is research that shows that as many as 80% can increase their mobility, reduce their pain, and improve their activity by as much as 70% by taking a regular regimen of Acme Amalgamated Super X7. And you
Oh,
might have
my-
even read the research on it
Well,
because you had to in your word.
That's true.
And I bet a lot of people who've written you their white mail thanking you for their book and told you about this. You've probably seen it.
Well, actually, I haven't got into that business. I'm just an author.
The reason you wouldn't be in it is it takes a lot of time, a lot of research, hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars, staff,
I don't want to
FDA
have
compliance.
manufacturing and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I'm an author.
But the good news is that's what I do. I've already done that. That's what I do every day. And the people we do it for are, guess what? Arthritis sufferers. We spend all our time and effort going around the world trying to find those people who suffer so that we can help them. Guess what? You've already done a lot of our work for us, and I have a way that we can both be generously, richly, and sustainingly rewarded for helping them get an even greater outcome out of their life.
I'm a little worried about somebody selling to my database, though, because I have a reputation to maintain, and who the hell are you?
And you know what, Bob? I am so thankful you said that, because if you didn't bring that up, I wouldn't want to do business with you. Because the kind of people that I want to work with long term have to have as high, if not higher, integrity, a very rigid sense of protective concern and respect and connection with their market. So anything we did together, I wouldn't even allow you to try unless 5 things were in place. Number one, you read at least 100, 500, 1,000. How many letters of testimonial were you comfortable with from my files?
34.
Okay, 34 is a good number. Then I would insist that you talk to at least 10% of those people yourself without me being on the line. Ask them in their own words to share their experience, their improvement.
We'll do that.
Then I would only want you to work with me if first we could do 2 things. Number one, set up a rigid and a stringent way that your people could try out my product for themselves for a reasonable enough period of time that it would either work or it didn't. And if it didn't, the risk, the loss would be mine, not theirs. In other words, I would not allow them to buy it. I would not allow you to sell it unless we took 100% of the risk away from them and let them, in essence, test it out to their fullest satisfaction for the most generous and reasonable time, long enough for them to get a positive outcome or not. And if they got a positive outcome, the product performs and they'll want to sustain it. If not, we don't deserve to keep their money, and I wouldn't even consider it. And finally, I wouldn't even want you to try it to do this until you first chose 5 or 10 people of your own who you know suffer arthritis. Pick them out of your book. We'll put them on a regimen. We'll get back to them at the end of 65 days, and you tell me.
That sounds very interesting. So how would we make money together?
Here's the way it'll flow. First thing, I have to prove the performance of my product to you. Second thing, I've got to prove the integrity and the deservedness and the suitability of my company. Third, we've got to prove the viability of the proposition. This is the great part. I will do everything for you turnkey, but you will always maintain 100% of the control, 100% of the editorial. I will create for you communications to your list depending upon how you reach them. If you reach them by email, we'll give you emails. If you reach them through package communications, you put in with the book when it goes out. If it's hard and not electronic, I will give you that. If you send them ongoing letters, we will give you those. We will pay all the hard costs. You will control it.
I get to read those letters to make sure that they fit.
You get to approve them, and if there's one word, one iota that's incongruent, that's too aggressive, that is different than you would express it, we'll take it out. We'll take it out because it's got to be an extension of you. It's you communicating to them, looking out after their interest, extending them the chance to try out a product at no risk to them for a long enough period of time that they'll either see results or not. If they do, their life will be improved. If not, it was no cost or risk to them. We'll take all that away from them. We'll do a small controlled test. How many buyers have you got?
I have 75,000 buyers.
And how many are coming in every day?
Usually 50 to 100 people a day.
So we'll do 3 things. We'll take a representative list of people who are current buyers, meaning in the last 6 months, people who are older buyers, meaning 6 months before, and people who are immediate buyers, and we will test an experimental communication marketing approach to each of those, and we'll calibrate how well they do so we can project forward what it will mean to you long term if we put this into full-born action and implementation. But we can usually tell after doing 5,000 past names, we'll do 100 people a day for 10 days, and we'll have a calibration. I can demonstrate to you in tangible dollar rendering proof whether it makes sense or not. If it does, you would be foolish, not because of the money you make. That's a wonderful and a delightful bonus for the fact that we will be enriching, enhancing, and improving their life. And until and unless I convince you of that, I wouldn't even want to do business with you, Bob.
Now, you have a product that you're creating, and there are people who are already selling to those people that you're trying to reach. And you can run a very expensive ad in the newspaper trying to find them, or you can go find someone who's already found them and do what he just did. Was that not brilliant or what?
Now, I got to apologize, and I'm not trying to, I'm better than this, but I haven't done it for a long time. Well, no, I mean, I've set up thousands of joint ventures. And when
Thousands of joint ventures.
or strategic alliances or endorsements where I've either been the back end for somebody who didn't have a back end. I've gone to people that bought that I knew would buy other exactly competitive things. I went to their list and went to their leads, their prospects, their visitors. I added an upsell to their transaction, something else. Because, by the way, this, again, I wish I had more time. Of 100% of people who buy anything, you can usually get 40 to 80% to buy something additional with it right then and there because they're already buyers. And that's just the understanding of the psychology.
So billions,
About
not
4
millions, but
Billions.
billions of dollars worth of joint ventures he has arranged because of one word. And we had you do all this other stuff first till we get to the one word that we're trying to teach you, and that word is leverage. Leverage.
Yeah. And
He's
so,
already got the leverage with his people. If I could just get to those people using his, you see what I'm saying?
so the short way to do it now, I mean, the internet is your marketing godsend for 3 reasons. Most people selling on the internet aren't very strategic or sophisticated marketers. They are tactical, they are static. They sell one thing and stop. Or they sell one thing on an ongoing basis and stop. I mean, Bob sold $495 seminars, and then he realized you could sell a certain number of those people at $5,000, and a certain number of those 5,000 people a $10,000, and a certain number of those 10,000 at $25,000. The same dynamic. No, but you understand that is human nature.
25,000. What are we talking about here?
No, but understand that's human nature. And the key to all this is not avarice. It's not mercenary, selfish
Talk
greed.
for yourself.
It's all about knowing that what you've got brings greater, whatever, benefit, performance. Like, I don't have any problem going to somebody who sold, I mean, if I talk about a competitor, I made, again, this is true. I made $1 million in 6 months going to Australia one time and finding a little version of Jay Abraham. They did seminars for $395, and they had 5,000 people who thought they were the next best thing to sliced bread. And I said, we're going to sell a $5,000 program to those people, and they thought I was crazy. And we sold 400 people the first time, and I made $1 million net in 6 months by going to 5,000 people and extending their ability, extending their prospects of prospering by taking their knowledge base deeper, broader. The key to everything is enhancing somebody's life. And that's what it's all about. But the point I wanted to make to you, and I'm sorry to take all this time, but if I do a couple people, I won't make because I looked at all your stuff. Man, it takes forever to sell the conventional way. You go out and you pay money for advertising that may or may not work, and you spend money to reach 1 million looking for 300 people. Find somebody who's already done it.
And the way you find them is online. For those of you who are going to be doing online work, like he was just trying to tell you, there's thousands of databases, and a lot of them don't sell a thing, but the ones who do still don't know what they're doing, and have tried to find all these people who have come in and clicked, and they've got these email addresses, and they haven't sold them.
Here's the cool thing. Again, I've made you, and probably Steve, made you probably 50 times better marketer in a couple of hours than most people are in a whole life because they don't get it. You can go and search by categories and related categories, and you're going to find 3 things. Usually the top couple, if they're really good, are going to be pretty good marketers, but they may be single product or service marketers. You can be a back end to them, or you can be an alternative to their leads. Then you go down, and you'll find people who are building big databases, don't have a clue how to monetize. Everyone comes to me and goes, I got 80,000 emails and no one buys from me. I look at their offer and their marketing and their website, and it's terrible. You can be the back end from them. You can be the primary product. Flip it. You may have a product that you're doing okay and not making a lot of money because you're selling $19 and stopping. Don't go to the top listings on the search engine. Go to the bottom 1,000 because they're men and women who spent their life creating a product and don't have a clue how to market it, and they're sitting in their garage. You can take them over for a little royalty or for I'm just telling you what I do for people.
Let's create the Google
Yep.
marketing process for them.
Sure,
We
okay.
want to have them become joint
makes
venture with
sense?
somebody. This makes sense. We're going to go to Google right now. Phil, pull up Google.
Yeah.
And
This is so cool.
we're
I'm
going to
just trying to
create
shorten it for you guys.
instantly create a way for you to go to Google right now and for you to find the person you're going to joint venture with, the product that's in your head right this very second. Without you having to figure out where to find those 80,000 emails. They're already there. Somebody's already found them. Okay?
And totally undervalues it. Keep in
Totally.
mind, the key to what I'm trying to teach you and what Bob's trying to teach you is everybody has overlooked assets, underperforming activities, unrecognized distribution channels you can take full ethical advantage of. All you got to do is do that. And the other stuff that most everybody else struggles with, that can be something you do 10 years from today, but you don't have to do that to make a lot of money. Capitalize, leverage off of everybody else. I mean, when I went to Tony Robbins, Guthy Ranker had spent $200 million on infomercials, getting people to buy his regular program. Tony had spent countless hours mastering his presentation and millions of dollars putting together his platform to present to people he got from that list to come to his cheap seminars to sell his expensive ones. He spent millions of dollars putting them on. I was able to go right down to them for the cost of a letter and get that core of the core of the core to come to me for nothing. Nightingale Conant was spending $25 million a year on marketing, sending out 20, 30 million letters trying to find the small quantity that were business owners or growth-oriented entrepreneurs. I was able to go to them by catapulting off of their coattails for nothing. That's, to me, opportunism, the melding of what I want to teach you, there's two schools of thought. There's a strategy and there's tactical opportunism. If you can put the two together, what you end up with is very, very powerful.
So you're talking about leverage. So do you have a database? Well, we had a lot of databases here, but let's go find some. Jay, all right, we're just making this up on the spot.
Okay, so take a category.
How do we find this? Pick a category. Pick one of these categories that's on the list
sure,
right here.
Let's do that for somebody right here. Good deal. This is probably good and bad. The one on top is a weird one. It's luggage, like luggage things. But let's take travel. I mean, you got general take. I mean, you go from the gloriously global to the granular. But take travel.
Okay, read her headline.
Black is black. I want my luggage back. It's basically
Where
something.
Where is she?
Something
Stand
to
up.
identify. Now, what is it? I mean, you got what is it? Is it a?
It's in my head.
Some stickers.
Okay.
Stickers.
So something. So this is probably not the easiest direct example, but that's fine. So we'd go to travel. We'd look at all the categories. We'd go to somebody who's got a travel magazine, who's got business travel, who's got, I can shorten without doing it, who's got travel services, who's got travel books, and you would use, and something else you got to do, and I got to tell you this, for some inexplicable reason, most people I meet in business or with a new idea in the beginning, they come into it from a marketing standpoint brain dead. Logic 101, ask yourself, I mean, why would you want to go to somebody who's got general people when somebody else has got people that travel 10 times as often? Who's got more of an inclination to suffer the problem? Somebody who travels weekly or somebody who travels once every 10 years? So Logic 101 says you are pragmatic, highest and best use, remember? So you go through all these searches and you find those people selling information or services or things to frequent travelers first. Then you find ones, and after you've explored all of those, you basically go to the general ones that are more difficult. But I mean, again, I don't have time, but we can go look at travel, but it's going to daunt you, isn't it? You're going to probably get 2 million activities, and I would have a mental screen that basically said which one of these have services for the highest frequency of travelers, right, because that's going to do it. Does that make sense? That's not a great example, but it's, okay, let's take another one. I'm just trying to show you how to shorten the process for all of you. But there's two elements. Shortening a process by itself doesn't enhance your success, but we're combining both of them. In other words, if 100% of the people, most people who run ads Well, even Ethan, who does his emails, he sends out 20 million emails looking for 8,000 buyers. But if you can know that 100% of the people you're communicating with are already, a highly qualified prospect, not a maybe suspect, that's enhanced your success rate already, hasn't it? If you know that the copy you're using to express to them has already, been used in the best-selling books and is expressed as the most desired outcomes or the biggest frustrations. By the way, there's two things to remember. Frustrations and desires or opportunities is your category. People have frustrations. Something else very important, going back to this Amazon.com. Sorry I'm all over the place, but I'm trying to give them universal principles. When you get this strategy preeminence, one of the other keys to it is not just feeling what they feel, but putting into words what everyone senses but has never verbalized. If Bob did this earlier, when I have a seminar, first thing we do is we spend 3 hours asking people, what are your frustrations? What are your challenges? What are the goals you're after? And they babble things that are so abstract and protracted. And then first thing we do is we define it and summarize it. And we write it down. And you can see their body language change and their posture and their facial tonality glow, because for the first time in their life, someone put words into a nagging feeling, or somebody put words into a desired outcome. Well, when you use this Amazon.com process, you're getting those words already expressed with passion from the people that are writing the reviews. And there are two kinds. They're the things they're frustrated as can be, trying to get away from, and they're the desires, the outcomes, the goals, and the opportunities. And I'm sorry to deviate, but it's a very important distinction. So back at, and I'm sorry I'm not doing what you wanted, but I hope this is helpful.
Is this helpful?
Be successful without a college degree.
Okay, let's have him up here on that seat. Get up here on that
who
seat.
is it? Okay.
Sit right over there. There you go, right over there.
So
sit right up on that stool.
I read this when I isolated it, but in all candor, I don't remember what it is. What's the product or service you're selling? You know what? A book. Okay. And let's look at a couple things. Let's start with your strategy, and let's start with two strategies: the content strategy of your book, and then your business strategy, because totally different things. And ultimately, if I had every one of you to work with, first thing I'd do is figure your strategy and then work backwards and have the product fulfill that. A lot of you are doing it ass backwards, no disrespect, but you got a book or a product and you got to make it fit a strategy, which is really not optimum. But
so say that again. How would you do it?
Okay, I'd start with.
Let's do it ass forward.
You want to do it the right way?
Yeah, let's do it. How would you do it the right way?
Okay, so give me your long-term goal. You're selling a book. Why?
Because I want to reduce shame in people who haven't gone to college.
Okay, but after you reduce shame, what's the next level of involvement or benefit that you currently have in mind? Anything?
Yes, I want to have a workbook and a tape that will help people. Oh, actually, what I want to do is have a teleconference call that will attract people, and I will create a program.
And do you have the expertise from your life work to do this?
Yes.
What do you do by day when you're not doing this
I'm
book?
a coach.
Okay, and you coach, do you specialize in coaching people who do not have a college degree?
I work with teens who don't have a college degree, and I have worked with executives.
So you have experience